Kings are falling every day, and kings are rising just the same.
Good evening. Welcome to KINGZ with Kosine on Fox. So, did you miss us? Because you know I missed you. It has been a heavy week. I am your host, Marcos Enrique Palacios, aka Kosine. And like I said, it's been a heavy day for me. Last night on the debate, that was a shit show. I also lost my godmother, my spiritual advisor, and the woman that introduced my mom to my dad. So I'm sending extra love to Florida, to her son, Chris, to my godfather, Thomas, the whole Higginbotham family. I love you. Now let's get into the show, because our roadmap says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. So today we're going to spend some time talking about our heart issues and put our proverbial money where our mouth is. Yeah, we're talking about charities and causes, what we support, how we're choosing to use our platforms for good, and how you can find ways to do good in your own hood. For me, giving back has really always been a part of my life. It's something that my mother always did, so it became a part of how I move in life growing up and throughout my 20s. I think about just really being in the church like crazy too, but into my 20s, it was pledging Kappa Alpha Psi and giving back to our communities. I think about church again. I think about doing a crazy benefit concert for Family and Friends Day, which was named after my mom when she passed. And then going back to Kappa, I think about the Guy Ride program. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Chicago Citywide Chapter Chaotic Kappa Phi, and just Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated as a whole. It's been a great opportunity for me to mentor young brothers. So this is important to me because to whom much is given, much is required. We are all servants. And as always, as you're tuning into this, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. Today, we got an incredible panel filled with men who have been given much and who are using their platforms to give back to the world. So I'm so excited about our guests. First up, we have my brother, this guy I truly hold near and dear to my heart because he always shows up for me. When I wrote my song, KINGZ, that you heard during the intro for this show, I made 2 calls for a collaboration. The first was to Idris Elba, and the second is to this brother. He jumped on it with no hesitation. He's a singer's singer who also writes and produces. Please help me welcome the talented and gifted Kevin Ross.
My brethren, man, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it, man.
Brethren, man, I appreciate you. Next, we have another triple threat, right? Because that's how we get down around here, is you pay attention to the fabric of us. He's an actor, a singer, and a rapper who plays the character Emmett on the show that reps my city. And he does a damn good job on the shot. What's so funny is when I watch this young character, he kind of reminds me of myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Not as many baby mamas, but he a sneakerhead, a ladies' man. I mean, what can I say? It's brother Jacob Lattimore. How you feel, church?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Hey. Yes, sir. Hey, I'm about to drop my next rap album soon, man. You
gonna be rapping?
I'm like, damn, I do rap.
I'm trying to put the salt and pepper on there, fam. He has an incredible lawnmower service. Come on, man. Let me do what I do. We did not leave out my man who went from Superfly to Grownish, collecting hearts all along the way. My little cousin, Katie, my niece, you had no right to text me talking about you love Trevor Jackson. You don't even know what love is. You don't know what love is. This man is wise beyond his years. He's talented beyond what seems reasonably fair. I mean, he decided to be an actor at the tender age of 8. This young brother is a force to be reckoned with. Trevor damn Jackson.
That intro was
man.
very, very kind of you. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Oh, my brother. Lastly, this retired basketball legend is a 2-time NBA All-Star who is a studio analyst for the NBA on TNT. He has his hands in everything from sports and film, as an actor, a producer, to gaming technology and the beverage industry. He even owns a company that manufactures Black Santa merchandise.
Black Santa?
Black Santa merchandise. He's everywhere. And watch this. Most importantly, when I get on that NBA 2K and I get them 06-07 Warriors, I will win by the dub. And Baron Davis will have 40. Welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for your service.
Appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you.
How you feel, man? How you feel? I want to just go around the horn real quick and just check the temperature. I want to start with you, OG, man. How you doing?
Man, I feel good, man. I'm in great company. You know, I say it's just always an honor and privilege when, you know, I can just share space with people. You know, I enjoy their talent, respect who they are as men, and especially their trajectory. You know what I mean? And you know, Kosine, like we go back, you know, Trevor, we go back way far, right? And, you know, just being a fan of Kev and Jacob is just, you know, it for me, it's a humbling experience. Like whatever we talking about, I'm down. You know what I mean? I just feel like, you know, we are in a time and a moment where it's about us. You know what I mean? And, you know, we got all the tools and the necessary tools to see each other, to talk to each other, and, you know, kind of build what, you know, is considered ours. And so everybody killing it. And now it's, you know, time to do it together.
There it is. There it is. Well, look, I'm going straight to my dogs because I listened to a joint and I just love being able to celebrate the homies. I love this platform for this moment. Kevin, Jacob, Trevor, you got a new music project called Real Black. It appears on the social justice compilation album entitled Empire Presents Voices for Change Volume 1. Also benefits the ACLU. 100% of the proceeds specifically benefit their racial justice voting rights, criminal law reform, and immigrant rights programs. So let's play it. Let me just play it real quick. Let's play it.
Yeah, real black. Trying to let the nation know and feel that. To all of my frontliners, it's a soundtrack. This shit is real black, for real. Ooh, real black. What we got is given and can't steal that. I just want my ancestors to kick back, be proud and be black, for real. You see the blackness, the blacker the bear, sweeter the batch is.
Good night. You heard them R&B textures. You just heard that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Fella, come on, man. I'm going to start with you, Kev. You know what I'm saying? How did this come about? Talk to me, bro.
Man, honestly, I recorded this project like a couple days after the George Floyd incident. You know what I mean? So, like, it was so tragic. And then I seen the outpour of my people and the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother was out there on the front line. You know what I mean? That affected me in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like there was a soundtrack that needed to be in place. Not just the James Brown and this. We needed something that was new, something that could revitalize. And I was like, yo, who could I get for this? And I was like, the first person I thought of, I was like, Trevor Jackson. I was like, I know we need this. And then Trevor and Jacob had already worked on a record that I wrote called, was it True-ish?
True shit, yeah.
Yeah. I ain't know if I curse on it. But
definitely cuss with your chest if you need to, bro. Cuss with your chest.
But I thought it would be the perfect combination to have these two young black men on here along with me, and just their personalities, what they brought, their penmanship, they swag, the drip on the record. I mean, they slid on this record, man. And you know, you guys stream it, check it out. It's on all DSPs, Spotify, Tidal, you name it. It's just a vibe, man. And if you want to feel that black excellence, this is the record for it, for sure.
So Jacob, you know, how does this come about into your world? Somebody just emailed it to you. Hey, yo, Kev wants you to get on this. You listen to it. You was like, hey, I'm gonna get to it. I got like 2 other movies I gotta do. But what was the process, man? How did it even, you know what I'm saying?
No, I was in the studio recording some, like, just a couple features actually, and then my manager had played the song. I didn't really know that it was like a political record at the time. I was like, play it real quick, and I think it was a little more urgent for me, like, than any other record at this time, because it was just like all the stuff that's going on in the media right now. I haven't really been a part of a song that really talks about, you know, the real world situations. You know what I mean? A lot of music right now is just talking about so much other different things: cars, money, clothes, women, you know, the fun stuff, which is fun and cool and fly. But it's like during this time, like, it feels like that Sam Cooke phase, that Muhammad Ali, that Jim Brown and Malcolm X phase right now, where they all was together in one hotel talking about how they gonna, you know, come together and just really, like, you know what, let's use our platforms to just do something different and bring awareness to the world and bring change. And it felt good to just be on a record like that, especially with my friends, people who I consider brothers, because, you know, again, George Floyd is our brother, you know what I mean? Like, and that could have been any one of us down there. So it just felt like, it felt very urgent, and I was excited about that.
That's heavy, Trevor, man. And you know, it's crazy, man. I want to salute y'all brothers just for feeling that internal responsibility to do something like this. And I want to say it's Nina Simone that talks about how it's our job as artists to reflect the times with them. Like, you knew, hold on, let me stop for a second, pause for the cause. Trevor, man, talk to me, man. What's your story been like in the process?
Yo, it's been crazy. I mean, obviously, it's just like, it's nothing new is going on. I feel like this has been going on for so long, dog. We've been dealing with it just as a people. But in terms of my involvement on the song, I feel like I'm typically, like, you know, I'm super particular about music, and every time I hear a song from this fool right here, Kevin, I'm like,
right.
I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm listening. I'm like, oh, I F with this. Who's this? And they say, Kevin. I'm like, all right, cut it off. We'll cut it. Just send it over. I know I'm not. You don't really miss ever, dog. You never really miss something. So he kind of, like you said before, set us up with this because he kind of laid down the groundwork. Obviously, the hook is amazing. The track is amazing. So yeah, we just got to come in and tell our different perspectives. But yeah, for me, man, I definitely feel it's a responsibility, and I think the best example and what I feel like trying to help is trying to be the truest version of myself, and the unity that I feel like this record represents, especially amongst Black men. I feel like it's something that is we're taught the opposite. You know, it's kind of like instilled in us, like only one Black guy can, you know, be successful, or only one of us. And it's like, that's what they want us to think. And they want us to be separated because they know how strong it is when we're unified. So that's why I love it. Especially, you know, my family, I grew up in like all men, and we're just big guys, but we know how to love each other. And I feel like it's so hard for, you know, some young Black men to show that to each other. Like, hey man, I love you, dog. Hey, give me a hug. Like, you know, really just be there for each other. And stop feeling like, you know, it's a rat race to the finish, you know? Like,
yeah, no, that's heavy. That's heavy King energy. That's heavy King energy. Let's switch gears. BD, man, I'm coming over to you. During these times, man, has there been any projects that you've seen, noticed, started, you know, that has, like, you know, motivated you to give back during these times? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say, you know, one for, you know, our platform is called Business Inside the Game. Mm-hmm. And, you know, while, you know, the protests and the marches was all happening, I just kind of sat back. And when you see all these corporate companies and they making these pledges, right? And these record companies and they making these pledges, I started to, like, just do a deep dive and say, well, you know, if you pledging $200 million, you know, like, is that really a write-off, or, you know, where's that money going? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I started reading, you know, and really coming up with a manifesto that, you know, now we can go and sit in front of these record companies. We can sit in front of corporate America and say, are you aligning yourself with light and Black pathways? How? Where is that money going? You know what I mean? That money should be going to these small business vendors. This money should be going towards these Black VCs, you know, these Black women VCs, right? And then also just kind of looking at, you know, internally and saying, you know, our ultimate goal is, you know, to have macroeconomics, right? And to be able to, you know, we talk about circulating the dollar and how our dollar doesn't, you know, circulate within our community. And so for me, it's like really like, all right, how can I build a fund? How can I build, you know, a platform where not only we can hold corporate America accountable, but we can make them, you know, fund the way we learn, right? Mm-hmm. We learn through experience. We learn through sight. We learn through touch and feel and hugs and encouragement, right? Mm-hmm. And once we get there and we figure it out, we can transition. You know,
real quick. So when you're taking these meetings, right, what are some of the key components that you need to have? Like, of course, I'm thinking from an obvious standpoint, NBA legend like yourself, pull up, you know, brothers gonna want to be in business with you because of who you are, right? But if I'm layman, you know, if I'm still on the come up, still young and grinding, what are some of the things that I have to have inside of my presentation that makes me legit to where I can actually get and receive funding from these companies? Because a lot of people throwing around a lot of money right now, man. The white guilt is real right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you pop up under, you know, the presentation act, what are some of the key components you need to actually secure funds to make a difference?
I think having confidence in your plan, right? And your ability to not only, you know, be well prepared, right? It's just like the same way when you about to present for a record company or you're auditioning for a film, you know what I mean? Or some role you want. Like, you're going to be not prepared, you're going to be overly prepared, and you're going to be so confident. Even if you don't get the job, you know what I mean? You may walk away and say, you know what? Like, I gave it my all, but I'm kind of glad I didn't get that move. Kind of glad I didn't sign with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to walk in that meeting like, yo, bro, I'm interviewing you too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's what we don't do. Like, you know, and I had to learn this shit the hard way, because you walk in and they're confident because they have the resources, the finances, and the tools, right?
Right.
But if you got the product, right, you got to be just as confident in your product that you know, this company may not be the right fit, right? And you got to be able to question them and say, you know, like, oh yeah, that was a great Instagram post, but what the fuck do that mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, you know what? You know, we may not fit your investment criteria, but guess what? These 5 people do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Here you go, right here. And they killing it, right? So go, you know what I mean? While we're here, we're going to set this email up and you're going to call in and keep it pushing, you know what I mean? And so it's just being confident.
Yeah, when I hear that, right, that makes me feel like I equate that to, if I'm working on a TV show and they need a song for the show, I'm going to do 3 different songs though. So just in case you don't like the first one, that's fine. It's 2 more. You going to like one of them. So as stay with you, coming with the businesses and then these other ones that we not leaving, you know what I'm saying? Without the bag. That's powerful. That's powerful. Look, every day when you look at the news, something bad is happening. That's why tonight is so refreshing, right? Black men, black kings who are out here making lemonade from lemons, because that's who we've been since before slavery. Church, resilient. We got to take a break. But when we come back, we're talking churches. Are they still relevant as hubs that serve the people in our communities? Don't go anywhere. More Kings with Kosine right here on Fox Soul.
Diverse representation among senior leadership
in media and entertainment is 1%. 1%.
And the recruiting pipelines that feed into studios,
production companies, and corporations
reflects who matters.
Knowledge is knowing that until you recruit in our communities,
nothing will change. See us.
See us.
Black women have worse experiences
at work because of a lack of sponsorship and manager support.
Open your doors to us.
Community means having the support to flourish,
speak,
and be heard.
Listen to us.
Black women contribute to the successes of the industry, both behind the camera
and in front of the camera.
We are equal partners in creativity, collaboration,
and dollars. Pay us.
corporate and nonprofit boards serving underrepresented groups.
Rarely look like the people they represent.
Rarely look like the people they represent.
Join us.
We are Sister Circle Media.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Let us not forget that we are involved in a serious social revolution. Those hundreds and thousands of our brothers are not here. Those who have said be patient and wait, we must say that we cannot be patient. We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want to be free now.
Welcome back. I am your host, Kosine, and I just want to go really quick to my UK correspondent, Brother Trevor. If you could give us a few kind words.
Yeah, no, we're having an exciting time today. I'm really appreciative of everybody who's here. We're very excited. We're just celebrating blackness, black culture, black music.
Black culture.
literally, we're discussing it. Literally.
Just a few seconds ago.
All right, here we go. End scene. Like I mentioned, I grew up in the church, right? So I have the expectation that people in need should be able to go to the church to get help, just like they did during the civil rights movement, and really all the way back to slavery. We didn't have banks, so we took up collections to make sure everybody was all right. We didn't have rights to be protected under the law. So we met at night at these central spaces to strategize our next moves as people take a look at what this Hispanic church is doing in New York. They actually shut down at the beginning of the pandemic, then started opening up every single day as a food distribution pantry. They have given out over 6 million pounds of food since March. It's the largest volunteer run pantry in New York. So there's some churches and communities that do just get it all the way right. And then we know some that get it wrong and are solely about raising money and taking money. I got brothers that used to preach that don't even want to preach no more because of what they've been exposed to on the inside. So the question is, to the brothers, and I'll go right with you, Kev, are churches and mosques still relevant as places of help and hope in our communities?
Absolutely, and it will forever be a staple within our community because, like you said, it's not only just a spiritual hospital, but it's another place for us to fellowship and gather and to strategize, right? So even if you're not reading the Bible, God said when two or more are gathered, his presence is still within the building. You dig what I'm saying? And that's powerful within itself. That's the reason why the civil rights movement was so powerful. It wasn't just the men and the women that were there getting active, but God was with them. God is with us. So we still need to keep these establishments in place as, like you said, as catalysts for hope. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely for that.
I'm rocking with you on that heavy because since the quarantine, man, that's crazy. Since I want to say March, me and the homies, we have a Bible study on the Sabbath, you know what I mean? And we talk about basketball all the time. You know, back in the day, we was always just talking about females, all type of, you know, extracurricular stuff, but we never really got on the line and chopped it up on spirituality. You know what I mean? And through that, our friendship has just gained so much more. So I'm gonna come over to you, Jacob, from a spiritual side. How you feeling, you know, during the pandemic on the church side? Where you at with it?
No, I think that's a really interesting conversation. I feel like I've been having with a lot of just, you know, my peers, and which has been really, really refreshing. I think we all just and even if we're not linking up going to church, we're always talking about meditating. We're always talking about finding our inner selves and finding our inner peace and finding who we are, and meditating before we go out into the world to, change our own thinking at home first, you know what I mean, and then step out into the world and change different minds. So I think it's extremely important. I don't know if necessarily the Black church specifically is what my peers are like going to exactly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to the church today. I think it's more so like what Kev was saying, like we're linking up more and we're creating our own sort of church and our own union. And I think that's really going to be just the most important thing overall. And then but it's going to be good to have those OGs, those pastors, those people that's been around for a long time, giving us to move forward our way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, BD. I'm curious, BD, where your head is on this, because from the time I've known you, you always seem so cool and like you got it together. You know what I'm saying? Laid back. You got that. We in one of our Bible studies, we talk about fruits of the spirit. We talk about peace. You know what I'm saying? So like you usually have that, and brothers can draw from that. What keeps you grounded? You know what I mean, during these times on the spiritual side?
I would just say, like, one, my faith in God, you know what I mean? I would say my faith in my sense of being here, you know what I mean? My sense of purpose, my faith that, I'm going to be a part of something that is going to forever change the dynamic of, who we are as Black people, you know what I mean? And so, I say, like, those are my prayers. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things that I'm asking God for. And I believe that, prayer is meditation. Prayer is a way to control anxiety. You know what I mean? And to Kev's point, when we gather, the power, you know what I mean? It's so much power. You know what I mean? To even what Trevor was saying is like, just as Black men, when I went to Africa, I saw Black dudes holding hands walking down the street. I had never seen that in my life, bro.
Right.
And I was like, yo, imagine if I could do that with my homeboys in South Central. Dudes that may still have beef with me today. You know what I mean? Imagine if we can walk through Chicago and you can walk from downtown all the way to the South Side. You know what I mean? The same way they do it, from Brentwood to the Palisades. So that's just kind of like where I've been finding my stuff, is just knowing that y'all so sharp. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I just want to listen and like, just kind of admire like how y'all build it. You know what I mean? What y'all saying. So I can be of service to, the things that y'all want to do. So that's kind of like where I am with it.
Yeah. Trevor, jump in there, man.
Yo, man, God is good. First off, let me start with that. I feel like I've always had, God has always kind of been at the base of everything that I am. I feel like it's why I've been able to endure a lot of the things that kind of, typically would make someone upset. Just being, first of all, being in this industry and then being Black in this industry. And then I feel like when I turned 23, I started to like understand that I was like my own like man, and like everything was, I started feeling responsibility. I started feeling pressures of life, started like realizing I'm in control of this bag, like this body, like I just have to, I'm in full control, and that can be overwhelming sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But for me, I feel like regardless where I was at, God has never been more than a step behind me or in front of me or wherever I'm at, whether I'm acting a fool or I'm on my stuff, it's just always kind of been, like, you can't get away from it. And I'm like so thankful for that, because I feel like some people, they never, I feel like maybe once in their life, they're not truly exposed, but I feel like God shows up at every area of every moment of my life, just being like, hey, you thought, you know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm like so appreciative of that. And it kind of keeps me going. But in terms of your question about the church and thing, I think things can be misconstrued all the time, bro. I don't think it's, man is man regardless. And so sometimes it contain a lot of things that are pure. So there are some churches that I feel are definitely not preaching the love of God and trying to preach, whatever else. And I think there are places that truly, because I feel like God can't be taught, he has to be felt. Anybody can know every word of the Bible and still not know what the love of God is like until you open yourself up to that.
It's multiple gods. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all kinds of guys that people be praying to. So that's why I switched it up on my side and I said the Most High.
Yeah.
Top tier.
I don't know about you, but
we're
going.
Let me get a little bit more specific with who I'm talking to, fam, because I see it's a lot going on. You know?
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, we're on the same page on that for sure. But yeah, dude, I definitely think that is the way, man. It's so hard to do this life alone, and when you do it with God, it's a little bit easier for sure.
All right, well, there it is. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, let's tap on what some of our peers are doing, other celebrities and super friends, as far as giving back, reflecting the times in their art and in culture. We'll have more with KINGZ with Kosine on Fox Soul.
Yeah.
I like sunshine. There.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
But you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a course online.
You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Hey, young world, the world is yours. Hey, young world, the world is yours. Young world, the world is yours. Young world.
This is Slick Rick. From protests to the polls. Get registered. Make your plan to vote early. Don't wait. Election day is November the 3rd. Peace.
Don't be a fool like those that don't go to school. Get ahead and accomplish things. You'll see the wonder and the joy life brings.
I like sunshine.
Welcome back to your midweek motivation. Watch this. Usually when people mention Marilyn Monroe, right, it's in the context of her being the side chick to President JFK. But there's a bigger story that should also be told. She used her platform and influence to make sure that Black singers like her friend Ella Fitzgerald had an opportunity to perform in what was historically whites only spaces. In order to book Ella Fitzgerald in a bigger venue, she promised the owner to, one, show up on the front row every night, and she did. Also bringing along other stars like Frank Sinatra, Judy Garland, and that's how to be a real ally to Black people. And there are plenty of Black celebrities also who use their star power to help move the needle on everything from civil rights like Harry Belafonte to more recently prison reform like Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan in their film Just Mercy. So I'm coming to you, Jacob, as a young superstar actor, no gas, no smoke. Should celebrities carry a bigger responsibility for shining a light on injustices and highlighting the needs of charities in our community?
Absolutely, bro. I think a lot of people don't want to do it because they're afraid of that sort of responsibility. That's why they want to be more selfish and just kind of focus on them, or just not post or just say things that will casually just make people aware of certain issues. You know what I mean? So I think that it's our responsibility a lot more than we think. You know what I mean? A lot more than we thought is and I can say for myself, I haven't done enough. You know what I mean? Like I can do more. You know what I mean? I can reach out more. I can speak out more on certain issues, and I think it's something I'm gradually getting into because it's such a new space. You know, when I was young, I was like, I'm gonna be a singer and a dancer and an actor. But then you're like, oh wait, it's real world things going on. You gotta be able to you gotta be able to speak on these things and be smart when you talking and know what you're saying. So it's a new space. It's almost like we entrepreneurs. It's a new career path for us to really speak on it.
Hey, like, I want to add on to that real quick, just because I'm thinking, I was like, you know, oh darn it, I just had it. That's the kind of brand that I have. Hold on a second. Wait, you were just talking about what I was about to. I wanted to make sure people that are listening, because like I know for me, right, I'm very like all about authenticity, all about being real, and I feel like sometimes what I don't like is when people do it for the trend or for the likes.
Right.
You know I feel like a lot of people who ain't never said nothing about nothing, now they're like, oh, if I do this, I'll get more hits on my page. And that, to me, like, even when people are telling me, you know, maybe whether it's someone on my team or anyone, like, you need to do this so that blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm never going to stand up for something that's real as my people or stand up for, you know, abolishing racism or just anything that is, you know, I'm not going to do that from a place of career or business. It has to be
like, and this is the question, because I just watched Janelle Monáe movie this past weekend. I forget the name of it.
Antebellum.
Yeah. And phenomenal movie, right? And we love Janelle Monáe. She killed it.
Don't spoil anything because I ain't seen it yet. Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil. And I think Gabriella is her name, was also in there. But when I first turned it on, I had to ask myself, you know, are we perpetuating right now? Like I asked my lady, because it's just like, man, like, is this perpetuating? Like we're just watching her be a slave. This is the great Queen Janelle Monáe, but now for the next 2 hours, she is slave being reduced and being mistreated. So I sometimes feel conflicted when I'm watching that.
You're right. There's a line, dude. There's a line with the slave, because like you want to educate, right? But also, it's even in the music industry. I feel like, you know, they're only putting the bag behind the rapper, the stripper, the drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be the image of Black people in America from a white person's perspective is the only thing that will be funded, so that people will continue to visualize them as such. And I think that's why it's hard, because, you know, even Denzel, he won for Training Day, being the guy that was like, you know, obviously he killed it, but still he had to be that to get that. So it's definitely
and he also played the shit out of Malcolm X though.
And John Q. And John Q. Everything else. That's the one you get, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane.
Yeah.
No, and that's actually really kind of that's something I've been sort of struggling with too. Sometimes when auditions come in, I'm just like, we need something different. Like,
I'm not doing a basketball player.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why we got this same thing? Like, I want to, you know, that's why I go and audition for the movies that's written for the white boy and really bring my swag and my thing to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I want that role.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Y'all gotta see it. Y'all gotta see us differently. You know what I mean? We not just, you know, we can be more.
Yeah, I think that's a bar. I think that's a bar. Yeah, jump in there, BD. Yes.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I just think that's a bar to all of the screenwriters that are watching the show. You know what I'm saying? As they're about to embark on putting the pen to the pad, it's like right here from your superstars themselves. Yo, give us something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Like, hell yeah, bro. That shit start when we're kids.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, why are you teaching kids slavery at 5 and 6 years old?
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? And you think that you're doing something by building empathy, but you're actually creating a divide early, and you're creating this kind of learned thing, right? So because we've taught you that from the time you've been in school, we can show you that in a movie because you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? I got a homeboy just directed a skateboard movie, and it's a skateboard movie. He's a Black director, writer, and they saying, you know what? The market is oversaturated. It's like, bro, you don't know the market. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know, I also think like value, right? Us five on this panel, we are entrepreneurs. We start a film company or the next version of Quibi. The value in who we are already is $100 million, right?
Yep.
The value in our talent is $100 million, right? And so y'all gotta click up. You know what I mean? Go get the bags, go build the platforms, go retell the stories we want to tell. And we got to write our own shit. I know I just directed a movie, my first movie.
Oh, congrats, dog.
There you go.
Congrats. Like my shit, I got a show on Hulu. If you watch my shit kind of hella ignorant. You know what I mean? Because I come from that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when people, like the type of love I get from people I want to connect with, like that's all that matters. Some people, they gonna feel uncomfortable. But like my homeboy don't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. He don't think Friends is funny. Or you know, The Office. Like he like, I don't even understand why you watch that.
That's that.
Right. I'm like, can we build that for us?
You gotta truly understand white people on another level to understand that comedy.
That's real though. That's real.
You gotta know what that comedy is, man.
But it's like they've been conditioned, you know, and that's a rhythm, bro. That's a rhythm. They got a rhythm, and they got, you know, they kind of got this learned process to be able to tell those stories for them and write those stories for them. So, you know, Jake, when you go in and you want to knock out that white bro, it's like, you got to add all the elements of I can't do because my mama, my brothers, my cousins, the homies in the chat will say like, nah, bro, you can't, you can't bust that move. You know what I mean? And we gotta write and build the shit that stop prohibiting us from being like everything that we can be in these characters. You know what I mean? They don't fit us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So watch this. So a couple weeks ago, when Master P was on, he dropped a gem that I think is important to today's conversation. Let's take a listen.
I had one guy say, look, man, let's go do something positive to help in the community. Oh man, I can't do that. I'm not into that. But then he come back to me. It was like 10 G's, I'm saying. Come back with me. Oh, Pete, let's go take this vacation. I say, how much is the vacation gonna be? He said, 100,000. I said, man, I just asked you to help these kids in the community for $10,000, but you ain't had it. But now you want me to spend 100,000 with you to take a vacation. Like you're not on the same page. And I'm done with wasting time with people like that.
Man, crazy bar. I asked him, hey, bro, I'm trying to make a little move, man. I just need 10 racks. He said, no, I'm good. Forget your calls. Then come right back. Hey, let's go on vacation, fam. 100 bands, we can do it. You know, my question to you, Kev, you know, do you think that helping is generational? You know, or like, is it something that millennials are just becoming aware of, or is it something that we can grow into? You know, what are your thoughts on that give back aspect?
Absolutely. It's something that could definitely be taught. You know what I mean? It starts within the community first. It starts within the family first. And even if, you know, you come from a background where giving isn't the main priority, you can break that cycle, right? The more exposure that you have to this world, you understand that giving of yourself is more valuable than you actually receiving. Right? Because on this quest, we're constantly learning, we're constantly absorbing. We're supposed to intake in order to, you know what I mean, like retract that information out to the public, out to the next generation. That's our purpose. And so when I hear that, I absolutely understand it, because like you said, there's certain people that feel like they stuck. They're in a place where they like, man, how can I help? You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to give. Or even if it's just like, man, if I give this, how am I gonna get it back? And you actually burn bridges in that way because you shorten your network. You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, I'm not gonna get that money. You know what I mean? Not unless it's, you know, what's the bottom line for me? How does this benefit me in the end? How does this make me look? And when you lose sight of the greater goal and the fact that it's like, yo, these people that you're actually giving to is one great example of that. What's the guy Chadwick Boseman that just passed away? God bless his soul. He was talking about when he was in school. Denzel Washington paid for his schooling, and he didn't find out until years later. You know what I'm saying? So he's on a podium praising Denzel Washington, saying, "Yo, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't even be in this situation right now." Denzel listen, he didn't have to do that. He's successful. He got money. He got kids. He got a wife. He got a family. He got priority. But he understood that paying it forward meant a lot more, because you never know where that money's going to go and how those seeds are going to sow and grow and create that harvest.
Well said. Well
said.
Hey,
well said, bro.
That's heavy. That's heavy. It's heavy because, you know, while we're living in follower land, right? And it's all about, man, the 10 million followers, the 5 million, and it's all about numbers. Look,
that made my head.
Chad was one person, bro. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm, one person. Muhammad Ali, one person. You know, when you give it back, you touch and change one person's life, fam. It ain't no talent. You know, especially as us being the ones from our local communities and ecosystems, you know, and that's why I think it's so powerful for us to come together and talk, because we're all going to go back to our own ecosystems, and we are all kings inside of those individual spaces. You know what I mean? So we taking them gems. That's heavy, Kev. Hey, Kev, you just went off with that. We gotta take a break. When we come back, we're gonna just discuss like really how we can all get involved as far as getting back, regardless of where you at in life. It's Kings with Kosine on Fox Soul.
I like sunshine.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Anytime they're playing music downstairs, it's loud. I go downstairs, see what they're doing, see what music they're doing, see what they're dancing to. I go play piano downstairs, they come get involved. Leah has a drum set beside it, banging that. Any music, that's what they do.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Gangs and narcotics, robbery, homicide. Like it's the end of days.
People are in danger. We're gonna do this thing together. No more games. This ends now. Let's go. You know you could get yourself killed. You do what you gotta do.
You blew up the port of LA.
It's one boat in the van.
LA's finest, Mondays on Fox, or anytime on demand or Fox Now.
I like sunshine.
We back, Kings with Kosine, and I can honestly say, you know, from a genuine space, you brothers have amazed me, you know, really with your generosity of spirit, you know. I really just got one last question because, of course, you know, we're in a pandemic still, and many people don't have a lot of discretionary money. So the question is, how can we show up wherever we are, whether we're rich, poor, somewhere in between? I'm instantly thinking about one of the OGs on the block, you know, when I'm pulling out from the crib and I see him take a few steps towards the car, I know that means that he want to come download, and he literally come to the car and give me the whole tea on the block, fam. Let me know everything what's going on, who on, you know, pop. And he tell me what jazz he been listening to, so he get my ear right from the music side. You know, he tell me about what it, and you know, it to me it's just love because he don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But me realizing how crazy it is to survive in America as a black man, as soon as see you, and you 55, you 60, you 65, we ain't even gotta talk, sir. You have survived.
You endured, bro. I've been having that conversation. That's crazy.
You have survived. So you know, I'm gonna start with you, BD. You know, being an OG on the line, and then we can just kind of wrap it up. You know, drop our last closing thoughts. What ways can we give back? How can we show up regardless of wherever we at? Talk to the ballers, you know, and talk to the crawlers. You know.
You know, basically we say Slick is the place where legends live on, and you know, we always standing on the shoulders of giants, right? And so, you know, right now I just been, you know, for me it's just like I've been in a mode of like tapping into the dudes who got me there, right? And now that I'm here, you know what I mean? Now I can focus on them and getting them and their stories. I think it's really about storytelling, and then it's also about time, right? And so, you know, I got a studio here, and, you know, every weekend I get a bunch of the LA OGs, all the hoopers together, you know, get some food, dominoes, watch some football, right? And just like share LA stories, because I believe like, you know, it's a power in the connection. And, you know, if you 50, 60 years old, man, it's still like history and stories and things like that that we can be connecting to, like you were saying. And so, you know, I just want to always like respect our OGs and they legends. And so as, you know, history gets made, so does our history gets watered down. You know what I mean? And our history is really in, you know, our connection amongst each other and the shared ideas and the shared, you know, commonalities of our walk. You know what I mean? You know, through these lives. So
your Chicago partner is definitely showing up to the LA social distance gathering, bro. You got to, let me know what that is.
Quarantine safe, bro. Yeah,
let me know what I gotta bring. I ain't gonna come empty-handed, fam. Right there, look, I ain't coming empty-handed, bro. Just give me my little list of what I got. Chips? Is it chips? A guac? Am I in charge of the guac? You know what I'm saying? Jacob, I'm coming to you. How can we give back, man? We got a couple minutes left, but we got to run. So just real quick, how can we give back, bro?
Yeah, honestly, man, continuously like changing the mindset of the people around us. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people back home. I'm from Milwaukee who have, you know, just sort of stuck in certain mindsets, you know, and I try to talk to them on FaceTime or even when I come back home, just to like, man, you got to think differently. You got to think more positive, think more optimistically. I might take them with me to Chicago when I'm filming The Chi and just have them see something different, just to get their mind off some things. And then they'll come back to me and be like, man, like, bro, like that really inspired me. Like I really want to, like, now I'm finna get back home and just be different. You know what I mean? And I think it's just about being an example, bro. Just being an example and really changing yourself, looking at yourself, checking yourself every day, saying, okay, how am I being the best person I can be today? And that's gonna resonate with people, and then people gonna feel that energy, and people gonna gravitate to you. And that's also a dangerous position to be in, because now so many people are gravitating to that energy. You know what I mean? Gravitating to those good vibes. You know what I mean? And that's when you gotta be a discernment. Okay, like who really here genuinely, and who really want to learn, and who want to build, and who want to become great at whatever they want to do. You know, and how can I be an assistance of, you know, going to the next level. You know what I mean? Without no ego or business mind intact, like I need a piece of this or I need a piece of that as you go to the next level. Like, no, I genuinely want to see you win. You know, and I think that's the mindset I want to keep preaching to my followers and people who look up to me.
I just got a question that came in after you just shared those powerful words. And it's crazy that this is what's really going on in the comment section. But this young lady said, "Is Jacob single?"
Hey, that was a great
bread. And they want to know what time it is, though, fam.
She know I ain't single. Mom, look at it. She like, I seen his Instagram post, but I'ma still add.
I'ma still shoot my shot, fam. Wow. All right, we rapping. Trevor, I'm coming to you.
Yo,
show up, brother.
I just want to say this: like, happiness is a choice. It takes nothing to be kind. And yeah, I think Jacob hit it on the head with being an example. And also, I say help anytime you can, but never help to the point to where, you know, you're depleted and you're, you know what I'm saying? Because then you can't help anybody if you're not straight. So always make sure to check on your mental too. We're always on the move, always trying to work. Make sure you take time to reevaluate yourself, you know, to do checkups. You know, you go to the doctor every time, you need to do that on your mind too. Just sit, think about things like that. And I'd say, as hard as it is right now, just be strong, man, and know that we were meant to endure. You know, if you're still here, you're meant to endure. And
there it is. I got to take one more break, and then we closing with you, Bishop Kevin. This is KINGZ with Kosine.
The need to care for one another has never been greater. And even though our daily lives are different, one fact remains unchanged. Blood is needed every day. You can help save the lives of cancer patients and so many others who depend on blood to heal. If you're in good health, please make an appointment to donate. The American Red Cross adheres to the highest standards of safety and infection control. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule your appointment now.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and like jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. Like, he's got to come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
It takes all of us to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. Use a delivery service for essential items like food and medicine. If you must make essential trips, stay 6 feet apart from other people. Wear a cloth face covering and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
We are wrapping this thing up. It has been an hour of power. We just gonna run to the benediction real quick. We're going over to Bishop, Archbishop Kevin Ross. Just real quick closing words on how we can show up. Bishop.
Let's put it like this. Once we realize each of us is a special puzzle piece made by God, we understand how necessary we really are to our family, to the culture, to the world, and we're more powerful together than apart. So always remember that you are necessary, each and every one of us. This thing don't work unless we understand that. And that's where our power comes from. And that's for Black men, Black women, all of us coming together. So I encourage everybody to just understand how necessary they really are.
There it is. There it is. I want to thank all my guests, each and every one of you brothers for joining us today. Everybody tuned in. I am so inspired to do more and to just show up more. For more information on the projects featured today, please visit our social media pages. I will be shouting them out this week. As always, I wish you good deeds, good vibrations. Hallelujah. Stay tuned for Mike and Donnie, the Mike and Donnie Show on Fox Soul. Oh my God.